Welcome. This is the third recording of sharing how you can use Copilot to assist you with your Six Sigma DMAIC phases. In this recording, we will cover Analyze, which covers Pareto chart, fishbone diagram, 5 whys, hypothesis testing, and regression analysis. And then I will just ask the question, create a Pareto chart, and I will hit return. Now, for some reason, it's not giving me a Pareto chart as such, but it gives me a graph that I will just say add to the new sheet. And here you can see. But what I can do is that I can then look at ranking this from top to bottom, largest, and then right-click on one of the columns and select Change Series Chart Type. I will then select for the average of cumulative percentages. I will ask that to be a line graph and to be on the second axis and hit OK. That will then give me the Pareto chart. And you can see here, left to right, the largest amount, and as it goes smaller. In order for us to see this a bit more, and so what's the numbers and so on, I can then go on Design and then say I want to look at the table, create a table at the bottom, as I said, on the quick layout, and you can see this one, which it has all the data below, and you can have the number of defects and the percentage and the cumulative as we go up. Obviously, as part of Six Sigma, we're looking at 80-20, 20% is covering 80% of the root cause. But we see which defect number has got the biggest defect in here, and things like that. So that is Pareto chart. Now I want to look at how we can create a fishbone diagram. So I'm going to go back into my Copilot, and I'm going to pick up a prompt that I have already handy here, which is to look at the fishbone diagram to organize that in people, process, tool. Because I've created a new prompt, I'm also copying in the information from our charter, just so that when we create this fishbone diagram, we have, it is in reference to the problem that we had in our project charter. So I'll create an example from the content below of a fishbone diagram that organizes the potential causes and problems into a categories of subcategories using the grouping people, process, tool. You can obviously create your own categories depending on your project and how customized you are, but in normal sense, it's people, process, tool. I will then hit submit. It will then give me the overview. It'll give me some suggestions. The problem, i.e. fish in the fish's head, is the high error rate in query resolution. What could potentially be the issues in people, process, and tool? And it's giving me some suggestions, recommendations, like on the people, inadequate training, high staff turnover, lack of motivation, to tools, outdated customer service software, or poor knowledge management, and so on. So it gives you a structure on how you can then populate your fishbone diagram. Now, the next thing of that is actually take some of them that is listed here and to run a 5 why. And you can use Copilot to help you with this as well. So that, again, it can give you a structure if you're not 100% sure how it's been done. So I took one of them root causes that is a potential under our fishbone diagram, which is lack of adequate training for a customer services representative. And I've asked, create an example of 5 why from the content, which is the technique that asks why repeatedly until the root of a problem is uncovered. And then I hit return. What it will then do, it'll give me, goes down chronological and asks the question why to some of these, why there's a lack of adequate training for the customer services rep. And it'll give me answer 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 until we get to the root cause of the problem. And as you can see, it's very clear. And why are customer service representatives not adequately trained? This is number 1, because of the current training program is not comprehensive or does not cover all aspects of customer service. Why is it not comprehensive? And so on. It goes down until you get to the bottom, where why has the importance of continuous learning and development not been recognized at the organizational level? because there's a lack of awareness about the direct impact of training on customer satisfaction and business performance. As you can see, it's a very easy structure that you can create as a sample or as a draft and so on. And all it is, it's related to your content, to your charter information. The next thing is they can create a sample or suggestions of a hypothesis testing of the content that tests the validity of proposed explanation or solution using statistical methods. And you might remember or not remember. And if you don't remember, this will give you a structure on how to do it, how to set up a hypothesis test, the structure, the step-by-step guide, if you like. And you can get all that from Copilot. And it says we can set up a hypothesis test to validate the proposed solution. Here's an example. First is the null hypothesis, the 8.0. The integration of AI tool has no effects on the error rate in responding to customer query, versus the alternative is that it reduces the error rate. Now we need to collect the data. And that means that if it goes below commonly 0.05, the test, then we reject the null hypothesis in favor of the alternative. And it's kind of testing one against the other. And then it also says, remember that while this test can provide statistical evidence of an effect, it doesn't prove causation. Other factors may influencing the error rate. They are either null hypothesis, 8.0, or the alternative, H1. But as you can see, it gives you a structure. So if you can't remember from your training and you can't remember everything, this gives you a good structure. The last thing I'll do is also do the same thing, but when it comes to regression analysis. So I'm asking Copilot again. So it's very important how you do the prompt to make sure it's clear and consistent and so on. So create an example of regression analysis that models the relationship between dependent variable and one or more independent variable. And then you're thinking, what is a dependent variable versus an independent variable? Because I've used that word in the prompt, it'll give me an example. It will give me an explanation. Sure, let's consider a scenario where we want to predict the customer satisfaction score, which is a dependent variable, based on the response time error rate, which is independent variable in the context of customer services. It gives you a structure to set up a multiple linear regression analysis, define the model, collect the data, estimate the parameters, and as you can see, it gives you the calculation on how to do it, and also how you interpret the results, which is obviously the most important thing once you set up these regression analysis. So as you can see, the Copilot can be used for many purposes, and obviously this recording is specifically targeted towards Six Sigma DMAIC, and we've got a couple of more recordings to come, but this is Analyse.